Hello everyone and welcome to Sutton's Days. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. We are all about pantry preparedness. I apologize ahead of time. I forgot to charge my mic, so I'm doing this just with the normal audio. But I really felt that it was important enough that I thought that we needed to talk about this and I needed to get this out there because it would make me feel better as a human being, okay? And that's the important part. Went blueberry picking this morning. Yes, I did. Now, you may agree, you may disagree. That's fine. If you're not nice in the comment section, then I'm just going to delete it because, you know, I have the power. Yeah. This is where I'm at. I just had a conversation with Phil. And this is after reading this morning's news and listening to some other news on the radio. And it gave me pause. Yeah. So I sit with it for a little while. And then I go to Phil and I say, okay, this is the scenario that I'm going to put towards you. And this is all fictitious at this point, right? Let's say that something happens and my income goes way down to where we basically are scraping by to pay the extortionist electric bill. And we can take care of the bare necessities. But man, there's really not money for food. And definitely no luxuries or anything like that. So, I mean, we're scraping. We're scraping harder than we've ever scraped, right? So, if that is the scenario that we find ourselves in, what items, food, sundries, whatever, would you be the most uncomfortable without? What items would you like me to focus on to ensure that for the next 365, we at least have those things that we really want / need, okay? And I'm not talking luxury items or anything like that, okay? So you guys know me and my coffee. Coffee, hello, yeah. And while I have a nice little stash of my special coffee, you know, can I just go to straight up Maxwell House? You bet your butt I can. So, you know, I'm going to supplement my stash, which is literally probably about 6 months worth of coffee. I'm going to supplement that and I'm going to bring in some Maxwell House, you know, classic roast, whatever. And then I'm going to go find some, do you know how hard it is to find decaf coffee anymore? Then I'm going to go find 6 months worth of decaf plain coffee. And we've got it. We've got it. It's there. In case something happens, because coffee is going up. It's going up astronomically as it stands, and over the course of the next year, it's only going to be worse. Yes, I can buy coffee today and store it for a year. It is perfectly fine. There are no issues at all. And so, what else like that, you know, would we feel the most impact from if suddenly we could not afford to get it? Now, you have to understand, Phil and I are both go-getters. We really are. Money, though it's a concern, is never our main concern because we always know that there's always a way to make money. There's always a way to make money. So whether it's as much money as we like or whether we have to work harder for it than, you know, we care, that's different things there. But there's always a way to make some kind of money. So what other things do we want to have for a year to stave off the prices of the tariffs and the weather and, you know, all the different things that are happening that are bringing down our supplies and bringing up the price of those supplies? So where does your list start? Let me tell you about our list. I hope you bear with me as I am sorting and cleaning blueberries. Cleaning, like I literally, you know, we picked 42 pounds. And so inevitably there's always a stem, and I try to go through there and get rid of anything that I don't want to stick in the freezer. But this is a year's worth of blueberries for us. So yeah, I do blueberries just like I do beef, chicken, and pork. Once a year. Of course, I honestly might go back this year and get a couple more buckets, but I digress. One of the things that Phil mentioned was coffee, and I said, okay, we're on the same page there because, yeah, coffee. And you have to understand, I mean, coffee is, not only does it make us feel good, it tastes good. It's a comfort kind of thing. In the wintertime, well, until the past couple of years, I could drink a pot of coffee and go to bed. Now it has to be a pot of decaf. It's a warm drink on a cold day. You know what I mean? So there's value in coffee. At least in this household there is. Is it the same as, food? No, it's not. But there is value to us in coffee. You don't have to agree with it. Nobody invited you over, so we're good. But, okay, Phil, so what else, And he looks at me and he goes, peanut butter? And I went, yeah, okay. Peanut butter, seriously. He has peanut butter on apples. He has peanut butter on crackers. He has peanut butter, he does peanut butter. I make peanut butter balls for him. Phil likes peanut butter. So, yes, peanut butter. It is protein, and it is fat. And while, yeah, of course, it's not, the best of the best healthy like broccoli, it's still good for you in moderation. And, yeah, so broccoli. Or not broccoli, peanut butter. Okay, so I'm stocking up on peanut butter again. I have been lax in stocking up on peanut butter for a couple of years since that Jif recall, because, man, that was a pain. But, yeah, I can put that up there, and I know that anything that I buy today is good for a year. Easy. Easy peasy, at least a year. So, okay, peanut butter, coffee, decaf coffee. You have to make sure to get both. And so what else, And so we started drilling down on our everyday, this is the stuff that we do every day. Do we need beef? No, we don't need it, Yeah, we love pork and we love chicken and we are plenty stocked up on that. Would we die if we didn't have beef? No. Would we like to have beef? Yes. So, okay, I got to find some kind of sale on beef. And I said, how do you feel about New York strip? For just a few steaks to put in there. And he goes, yeah, we used to get those all the time. I said, yeah, and then you discovered ribeye, and then, so, yeah, now we got to dial it back a little bit. So if you have no opposition to, a cheap New York strip, then let's do cheap New York strip. It's beef. I'm happy. And we kind of worked our way through the list. We're not done. We're not done by a long stretch. But I thought that it was important enough to come to you all and say, what are the things that are most important to you that if suddenly, because of price, you're either outpriced or outsourced because you just can't get it anymore, because of tariffs, because of cost, because of demand, because of whatever. What are those things that you think are the most important to stock up on? Okay? And I'm not, don't preach at me, for goodness sake. I know I'm not going to die without coffee. A lot of other people might, but I won't. So it's a matter of comfort and routine and making a truly crappy situation a little bit better because we have at least that one thing. Because I managed to stock up on some peanut butter. Because I managed to stock up on some beef, you guys, I regularly check out the manager specials when I go into that store. Mind you, I don't go in there a whole bunch, but when I go into that store, I check them out. And I keep an eye on sale prices constantly. And I pay attention to what's going on. I am in the process of teaching myself a little bit more about reading futures, studying futures, so that I can better gauge what I should be paying more attention to instead of just, our stuff. Because it's not only us, but I went, okay, so I know for a fact my old man Shadow is 16 and he's starting to fail, but he now shares my dinner with me because he's having trouble digesting cat food. So he feels like he's always hungry. But he ate a quarter of one of those little meatloafs that I made yesterday. So, and he was happy and he was full. So if I have to make that cat a little mini meatloaf a couple of times a week, you bet your sweet butt I'm going to do it. Do you know what that means? That means I save money on cat food, because that is extortionist pricing right there, right? I need to make sure that we have enough feed for the livestock, at this moment, for the chickens, the plethora of chickens who are going through about 100 pounds of feed a week, and it's summertime and they're grazing. I mean, yeah. So I have to figure that out. And then I have to figure out, where can I store it? Well, we have an old commercial freezer that's not working in the garage. And so that will hold about 15 50-pound bags of feed. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. So you need to walk through everything. These are the must-haves. And in my mind, coffee and red meat are a must-have. Cat food, dog food, chicken food, toilet paper, soap, that kind of stuff, hygiene stuff. Go through and make yourself a list, because that is what you should be focusing on for the next 3 weeks. Because I do believe it's going to get that bad. I really do. There are people right now truly, truly terrified because our government considers them collateral damage. And so if they can't get their medication because we're being tariffed out of it, then you're collateral damage. Screw you. It's true. It's happening. People are terrified. So what happens if you can't get your medication? I get it. If you can shore up one part of your life to where you know that if things get any tighter, that you can take the money that you would normally put towards that and put it towards something else that you really, really need, If you, that is why I preach pantry preparedness as much as I do. Our grocery budgets are the one variable, and unfortunately, they're varying high. They're higher and higher every single day. And if we can take the focus off of that, because we have prepared for 3 months, 6 months, a year, then we know that we can take that money that we would normally devote to our variable grocery budget, and if there's anything left after keeping the lights on and the heat on, right, then we can take that money, and instead of buying food, because it's already here, we can put it aside for the important stuff like medication. We are nothing but collateral damage to this government. They have never thought anything more of us. So anything that we can do to prevent them from literally unaliving us due to their nonsense, we need to take a stance. We need to do this. We have no control over the games that they're playing. We have none. And it has been a solid poop show for quite a few months now. And it's getting worse, and it's getting worse, and it's getting worse. And we're not getting the truth. If you haven't figured that out yet, we're not getting the truth. Okay, they change it. They change the narrative to be what they want it to be so that they can try to push the next distraction on us. And we need to take control of what we can control. What we can control is making sure that we have what we need to eat, that we have what we need to sustain ourselves moving forward. There are always a bunch of comments telling me, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I cannot buy anything more. And I'm telling you right now to get yourself off your couch and go to the food pantries and stock up. If you do that for a couple months, you will have a couple months worth of food stocked up. Okay? You need to stop giving me excuses, and you need to start getting up and doing it. Because I don't want to hear that we have lost any of you because of the nonsense that's going on. I want to believe that you're actually ingesting some of this information and that you are doing everything that you can to fight against the injustice and fight against them trying to treat you as collateral damage. Somebody's going to say it's just not worth being alive during this kind of thing, and I'm going to say you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Every single one of you is needed, okay? So we need to lose the victim mentality, and we need to figure out a plan to survive. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. We need to figure out a plan to survive, okay? There are always ways to make things happen. It may not be normal. It may not be what you want it to be. It may actually be something that requires a little bit more out of you than you're used to giving. I've been there. I've done that, okay? I have worked 80-plus hour weeks. I have worked 80-plus hour weeks at a job that literally made my hair fall out. I hated it so bad. I have dealt with people that I would rather walk over on the ground than deal with ever again. I have stressed myself out to the point where I'm surprised I don't have a heart attack, okay? That doesn't matter. What I did is I survived. I'm here to talk about it today, and I'm here to share with you that you need to do what you need to do to survive. I don't care if you open up an OnlyFans to stare at your feet. I genuinely don't pass judgment. I don't care. There are ways to make things happen. And everybody knows that. There are always ways to make it happen. I don't want to live with anybody else. Whatever. Okay, there are ways to make things happen. Are they going to be your dream situation? No. But is starving to death your dream situation either? No. So can we stop with the holier than thou nonsense and start focusing on taking care of you? Because that is what's important. So what I'm imploring today, I'm going to jump back off this soapbox now. What I'm imploring today is that you take time and you figure out if my income goes down any farther, if they remove any of my benefits, if they make it so that my medication now has to be covered by cash because they're no longer going to carry it because the price, or they're no longer going to cover it because the price is so big, then what are you going to do to make it? If you're going to curl up in the fetal position in a corner and wither away, then why are you here? Because that's not what I teach. I teach about being strong. I teach about surviving. I teach about preparing for the unknown. And the fact is that we are in the throes of the unknown. We really are. And it's not good. And it's not going to be pretty. And we're nowhere near the end of it. And I want everyone to survive. I want everyone to thrive while they're surviving. How do you do that? With a prepared pantry. That's how you start. That is your one start right there. That is your one thing to help safeguard you against the power being shut off, the gas being shut off, a car repair. You can dry your clothes hanging them over your dining room chairs. Seriously, that doesn't matter. Okay, a dryer doesn't matter. A washer, that matters. But there are ways to handle that too. There are so many different things that can go wrong on a daily basis. And when you add in the fact that our government is intentionally making a lot of us collateral damage, it's time to stand up. It's time to stand up and prepare to survive. Because if you don't do it, there'll be nobody left to fight. Yeah. That's about it. Okay. I have to do these blueberries. If you want to check out inexpensive ways to stock your pantry, check out this playlist right here. Until next time, everybody, be safe, be aware, keep stacking it to the rafters.